providing tens of thousands of people the health care they deserve. Together, we ensure that Congress fulfills its undeniable moral obligation to stand by those who answered the call of duty when our entire nation was attacked. I could not have been more proud of the bipartisan effort our delegation showed in standing arm in arm with extraordinary advocates here today to get this bill across the finish line. It was our Christmas miracle. Of course, closer, Senator Schumer, and he has been an extraordinary partner every single step of the way. And I can't thank my colleagues in the House for their tireless efforts and leading this fight from the very beginning. Carolyn Maloney, Jerry Nadler, and Peter King. But our work is not done. And we stand here today united across party lines to stand up again for our heroes and pledge to never stop fighting for them when new fights arise. While I'm optimistic that Congress can and will come together around our core common values, negotiate a new deficit reduction deal after the election, if we don't, federal programs across the board will face deep automatic cuts in 2013, also known as sequestration. Sequestration is the wrong method to reduce the deficit and was never meant to be triggered. According to the preliminary report by the Office of Management and Budget, $38 million could be cut from the 9/11 health program alone in next year. This is simply outrageous. Nothing exemplifies this unbalanced and draconian approach towards deficit reduction more than asking our heroes, who have already sacrificed so much, to sacrifice yet again. Just as we've come together as Democrats and Republicans to fight for our heroes, I urge our colleagues to do the same and work towards a balanced approach that avoids these booming, deep, and automatic cuts going into effect. But we must prepare for the worst-case scenario, and we will fight just as hard to save the 9/11 health bill and budget cuts as we did to originally pass the bill. For too many responders and community survivors, these programs have life and death consequences. Cuts would be insulting and devastating to the families of the 9/11 victims and first responders. We call on OMB to treat our 9/11 heroes with the same dignity as our military veterans who are rightly accused of sequestration. Let me be clear. The 9/11 health care law does not add to the deficit. In fact, the Zadroga law goes above and beyond reducing the deficit by over $433 million in 10 years. There's clear precedent for our heroes that the 9/11 health programs mirror at least 6 federal health and compensation programs that are all exempt from sequestration. This includes the payment to Radiation Exposure Compensation Trust Fund, the Vaccine Injury Compensation, and the Black Lung Disability Trust Fund. Protecting other programs that aid injured and sick victims while cutting 9/11 treatment and compensation programs simply doesn't make sense. I have met the brave families of those who perished serving their country during the cleanups, and I've talked to first responders who are sick and literally dying from the toxins they breathed in at Ground Zero. You cannot tell me that asking them to sacrifice once again after Congress has turned their backs on them for so long is who we are as a nation. We hope we will not have to have this fight, but if we do, we will have the backs of our 9/11 first responders, their families, and our communities every step of the way. Next is Senator Schumer.
Thank you, Kirsten. We gather here once again to fight for our heroes, those who volunteered to risk their lives to make us safe. That's what they did, like our soldiers do, like our veterans do, and they should be treated no differently. Bottom line is very, very simple, and that is, it took us a long time to convince the Congress that our 9/11 heroes who rushed to the towers deserve to have the illnesses that they acquired during that bravery treated by the federal government, just like veterans' illnesses that were acquired in battle were treated by the federal government. Many of them said no. They said, nope, we're not giving any money for this. money should go somewhere else. They said, one of them said it was a waste. Imagine, a waste. But we worked and worked and worked, and led by Kirsten in the Senate, and by Carolyn and Jerry and Peter in the House, but most of all led by the fearless men and women who stand behind us, worked so hard to make this happen. We got it done. But as always, there are always new mountains to climb to protect our 9/11 heroes. Obviously, at the original bill, because of the negotiations, we only got enough money for 5 years. We know we're going to have to come back and get more money there. But now there's a new threat, sequester. And we say that sequester should treat our 9/11 heroes like our veterans and exempt them once and for all now. Sequester should not be used on the backs of our heroes the way it has not been used, rightfully so, on the backs of our veterans. And as Kirsten mentioned, we found the money. Little genius on my staff found the money. So it would be a dereliction of our responsibility and of fairness to keep that money in the federal government funds, which everyone says it should be, and yet not use it for its intended purpose, the illnesses of those who rush to the tower. So we want to assure the men and women who are now suffering from cancers and other kinds of diseases that we have your back, as Kirsten said, that we will be there for you, that we will not let anything stand in the way of you getting the medical treatment that you so earned during the horrible hours after the towers fell with your heroism.
Military battle, they went in knowing the risk. That takes more courage than anything else. The least we can do is stand by the tower at this time of truth. Thank all of you for being here today. The battle has begun. We're going to win the battle. We'll stand together. Thank you all very much.
And we had to fight, and we were questioned, and we had to fight. Then we finally got the bill passed after all those years, and we thought, and we hoped, that that was the end of the fight. Now we can get our treatment, get better, and get home, and now the questions begin again. This is not about finances, it's about right and wrong, it's about health, and it's about living or dying. We're not asking for anything except to get the finances that you promised, get the treatment we deserve, and to go home with our family.
First, I want to acknowledge somebody that should have been acknowledged in the beginning is Joe Zadroga's here, the father of James Zadroga. And if members of the New York delegation are listening to me, and why not put a statue of James Zadroga over a couple hundred yards in back of me to symbolize the fight that we've been through the last several years. So, Joe, we're going to dedicate that $35,000 to make that happen. With that being said, I want to thank the New York delegation, Senator Schumer and Gillibrand, for their leadership. See, I'm privileged to see those meetings and those emails and those phone calls. And while we got the bill passed 2 years ago, they're fighting every day for us. I see that every day, so there's no doubt that the New York delegation and the unions are there. They're fighting for us. But I want to frame this. I want to frame this so everybody understands. I want to, so you can quantify what's going on. Almost 2 years ago, we gave birth. We gave birth to a beautiful, bouncing baby bill, named the Zadroga bill. And they called it flatline. They said it wouldn't pass, but we nurtured it. We got programs added to it. We got cancer added to it. This bill, the chosen one, that was going to save lives. Everybody here is a surrogate, an adopted parent of this bill. And now they want to hurt our bill. Unacceptable. When you try to hurt a parent's child, you fight back. I'm not here to do a press conference today. I'm here to draw my foot in the sand, a line, saying we're not going to take it. So I don't got to be politically correct like those in back of me, those who spoke before me. That's not my job. My job is to speak for everybody behind me that suffers like me. We walked the halls of Congress for 8 years. not to be insulted, but to be respected.
Amen.
You're going to sequester a bill that reduces the deficit? Where I went to school, and let me tell you something, high school was a challenge for me. But 2 + 2 = 4. I know math. And when a bill reduces the deficit by $433 million, you do not cut it. It's unacceptable. We are going to start from this moment forward, bringing the fight to DC, not waiting for it to come to us. Those days are over. We are not the same group of people that were naive and gullible. We are bigger, we are stronger, and we are louder. You know, the other day somebody said, John, you didn't deal with the Tea Party. They weren't there when you guys got the bill passed. You're going to be tough. Well, you know what? The Tea Party didn't deal with these men and women behind me because they're a lot tougher. Look how long they've survived since 9/11. Look what they've been through. Obstacle after obstacle, hurdle after hurdle, we overcome them. Thank you.
Here, here, John. Here, here.
You know, the old time, you guys are